Good evening, Plum here, playing World of... Honey? Honey?
What?
Where's my British Tank Commander's uniform?
What?
Where is my British Tank Commander's uniform?
Put it away.
Where?
Why do you need to know?
I need it.
Don't you even think about doing that YouTube video? We're supposed to be going out for dinner.
The public is in need of this video.
Stuff your fans. I need dinner.
Tell me where my uniform is, woman. We're talking about the greater good.
Greater good? I'm your wife. I'm the greatest good you're ever going to get.
What's going on? Thanks and welcome to a very special 200th video for me, Plum, on YouTube. Who'd have thought it? The odds of survival were slim to none, but somehow I've managed to survive this opening onslaught that is owning a YouTube channel and running it. How much money have I made? Nothing. How many friends have I made? Quite a few, actually. There's quite a few out there that I do consider to be close allies in the World of Tanks gaming environment, I guess you'd call it. And my life is better for it. So on with this first replay, the only replay, this is the Great Wolf, and he has sent me a whole bunch of replays over the last few months, and I'm very grateful to you, mate. Thank you very much. And they're always really good matches, yet somehow, I don't know how, he's managed to avoid actually having one put up on the channel. So I figure what better way to repay him than to stick it in my 200th episode special. In the comments and chat you'll see he's actually called Sixton. He's always commenting, so he's the perfect kind of subscriber. Comments and sends me good replays. Gotta love guys like this. And so he's in his LTTB and he's got the worst possible matchmaking. He's in a tier 9 game. So he's in his light tank, tier 7. And I really enjoyed this machine when I took it out on the test server. Still do not actually own one on the live server. But he is going to show us all how to drive a light tank in all regards. Passive scouting, active scouting, playing aggressively, making the right decisions at the right time. He's going to have an absolute corker here. It is very much a game of two halves though. This first half of this match, and I mean no, the first 2/3 of this match, this is where we sit. We are not leaving this comfy bush. So I am going to intersperse this replay with some other footage of other things going on from other videos that I've compiled together, because there really is so little going on for the next 8 minutes in terms of something to talk about. He is just literally going to sit in this bush like a rock star and not budge. Now that guy there, he thinks he's been spotted. He's probably got sixth sense. He knows he's been spotted and he's thinking they're in that bush. That is the bush you go to get spots on. And he doesn't flinch, the Great Wolf. He just sits here, doesn't move. How many people would move after that first shot just missed? He's got sixth sense, so he knows he hasn't actually been seen. He's just got his gun barrel sticking out the front of the bush. And his biggest problem is actually his own team here, or is it? It's a tough one to call actually, this match, because it's a great game for him. I'm not going to say whether they win or lose, but his problem is his team at the back there on his side at Bravo 2. He's got this whole cluster of tanks and they're so far back they can probably just see the ridge directly parallel to the Great Wolf's position here, and not much further. So even though he is lighting up all of these tanks, these guys here, they're just sat right back here and not really giving him much support. But then you could argue this is the exact role that he's playing in this match. He's the door wedge. He's opened this door and now he's just got to sit there and keep the door open, quite literally, for as long as possible, and hopefully wait for the team to actually get its butt into gear and start destroying these tanks. He cannot move. He literally cannot move from that bush. He is stuck there now. Now Jagdpanther's appeared on the minimap, pushing up. Now you've got to start getting slightly sweaty palms, thinking, yeah, TD, he's got binocs and so forth, but the LTTB got good camo rating. As long as he sits still, doesn't fire his gun, a tank's going to have to get pretty close to him to actually get him spotted. Holds his nerve, just sit tight. So, and this is going to continue now for the next few minutes. The mini-map will barely change. Everything will just stay where it is. Their M41 Bulldog's going to buzz around. So he sat in this bush approximately at about 2 o'clock on that little overview shot. And there's literally nothing he can do. He cannot move because he'll get spotted. So he's just got to wait out his team. How long will it take his team to actually get their butts into gear? Quite a long time, actually. Well, like I say, you could argue that his team are probably doing potentially the right thing. Maybe the enemy team is going to get bored, like this T30, and start pushing up. The match is nearly 4 minutes old, and for a World of Tanks game, that's quite a long time, actually. You can normally rely upon the enemy to start getting bored, and for some of them, just to want to see some action and push up. So originally you could argue that his team hasn't really given him much support, they're sitting too far back, but if they were further forward, this little scout here, the Bulldog, would probably be spotting them much more easily than he might be doing at the moment. And so the enemy team is getting bored. They are starting to push up. Plenty of eyes on. He is going to rack up an enormous amount of spotting damage, as you can imagine. And saying that, it probably wouldn't have happened if his team had moved up, because then they'd be spotting some of the tanks. So any hit that goes in at the moment and does damage, he's getting 50% of the benefit. So let's go and see something else happening for a little bit, because this is just going to remain like this for the next 4 minutes, and I've run out of things to say. So let's look at what should we look at? Let's watch some TOGs. Yes, that actually was a TOG ramming another tank and killing it. Who'd have thought it, only in World of Tanks. That wasn't personally me, that was a sub who sent that in, so thanks very much. What's the situation in the battle? Like I said, very little's changed. We've managed to kill a couple of the enemy tanks, they've managed to kill a few of our tanks, but our boys at the back are still resolutely sitting there. So after that rather somber yet epic TOG video, let's have another TOG video, but just a little bit more upbeat. You'll see what I mean. And so it does in fact turn out that the gravitational pull of a TOG and 3 other tanks is enough to hold a light tank in orbit around them. And that was just some fun we were having. Oh, that was a couple of months ago now. We had a what you might call an open mic night. It was myself and Armoured Danger playing on the training room, and we invited anyone that wanted to come along, and quite a few did, and it was good fun, and we had some fun with the TOGs. What's going on with this match? Only 6.5 minutes left, nearly, and not much has changed. I suppose you could say that the friendlies behind us have now finally moved up. It's taken them nearly 9 minutes to decide that they're going to actually come up the map, but it's all even. We've all got 10 tanks left, and Great Wolf is still going to sit in his bush. Not for much longer. We are about to take the plunge, and now we're going to see a different side to the Great Wolf. He's going to actually tear this team a new one. Finally, he's got his tanks up. He can now do something other than passively scout. He can actually go and engage targets, and look at that thing on the move. It's a terrific shot. Start pressing this enemy tank. He knows now that his tanks behind him can also see this target. But once again, he's probably the only guy, you know, spotting him, potentially. Does a beautiful around the clock face on that guy. And he pulls off an amazing shot with the T-54E1 and kills him. It's freaking awesome this next 2 minutes, the driving he pulls off. So light tank, 101, keep moving. Unless you are absolutely certain that there's nothing else in your proximity. So he's in pretty decent cover there, decides to pause, take a shot at this T-34, does another 170 damage. It was a little risky pausing there, but he obviously got away with it. Watching this guy in other replays, he's a quality player, he knows what to do, when to do it. You kind of get a feel for it playing this game enough, don't you? You think, yeah, I can sit here, probably. Manages to get eyes on the GW Panther. All the time he seems to be the guy that's out in front with a nice squad of tanks behind him to back him up and put fire into these machines. They take out the GW for him. Now rather than just go raging over that ridge, he just has a peek. Uses his momentum, crests the ridge, have a look, fall back, and kind of reconnaissance this other area of the map. So far, only 728 damage, but that is only telling a tiny bit of the story in his final statistics at the end on the final screen. So we're pushing up now. We decide to change our tack, and the enemy, no doubt, if they're using a map mod, still thinks he's in the last spotted position at the railroad crossing. We're going to push up. Look at this tank go. It is really fast, really manoeuvrable. My kind of tank. Take courage, determination, a little bit of pluck to drive these tanks this well. It's fair to say, more often than not, you end up being killed driving these little light tanks, but you get games someday where it all just goes your way. Decides to leave the AMX alone. Let his friends behind him take care of that guy, and go looking for the last 2 tanks alive. There's a Jagdpanther down here. And this little guy, the Bulldog. Can we kill something else? Only got the 1 kill at the moment. He just gets ammo rack, but he repairs that. Got to keep his rate of fire up. Decides he's gonna die if he just sits here toe to toe with that thing. So he drives around it, tries to get more damage on another machine, the Jagdpanther. Gets a shot into him, unlucky not to kill the Jagdpanther too, and finally he actually dies. But how did he do in the final results? Of course it's going to be damn good. I wouldn't be showing it to you if otherwise. Talk about a game of 2 halves. Not even 2 halves. A game of 1/3 and 2/3 of sitting still. Just killed the Bulldog, and let's take a look at his post-game stats. So of course that was easily good enough for his ace tanker. We also picked up a little pinfire for effect, and due to all the work in the bush, if you can call it work, I don't know, just sitting there, it's not a bad job if you can get it. Scout and patrol duty, and evidence there. I mean, he spotted 12 of the enemy team. Where's he come? Don't know why I bother ever asking that. Of course he's come top. And XP, yep, top on XP. Certainly not on damage done. Damage done, we're down here in 6th, but where it matters for a light tank, XP. And let's take a look at his spotting damage. Nearly 10,000. Absolutely, mate. I don't think I've ever done that much spotting damage in my life. So thanks for sending that game in, mate. I really appreciate all the matches that you do send in, and to everyone else that sends in games, I really appreciate it. I do try and watch them all at least. Sometimes it's on ×2 or ×4 if I'm limited for time, just to see if it's an absolute blinder. But I do try and watch them all, and whether or not they make it to the channel, well, that's up to the gods, but certainly not to me. Well, that's a lie. It is up to me, but you know what I mean. Right, moving on. Let's see what else we can look at in this 200th video of YouTube.
Do you want a cup of tea?
Ooh, yes, please.
Okay.
Oh, hang on, come back. Is there anything else?
Yeah, you can have coffee or milk or squash or apple juice. I think I've got some orange juice. You could have a cappuccino, you could have a latte, you could have hot chocolate, blackcurrant squash. I've got some wine, white wine or beer.
I think I'll just have a cup of tea. Yeah, and she actually does make a really good cup of tea, as do I. You can't be born in this country and not be able to make good tea. If you can't make good tea, you're going to struggle. So if you're coming here, practice. So my good wife, she actually decided to have a go, and this is what happened. You are the best player on our team, denoted by the 55 in green.
Oh dear! So they're all hoping for good things from me.
Yeah, maybe. So use the mouse wheel to scroll out of the machine a bit so you can see it. There it is. That's your tank.
Yeah.
So you get behind it, so you're sort of looking where you're going. You've done a classic. Go the wrong way.
Yeah. Look. Just remember, I haven't got a clue what I'm doing.
Maybe elevate your camera position so you see over the line. That's it. That's a good position to be in. Right, get your fingers on WASD.
Oh.
When the clock ticks down, start going forward. Go. Maybe go to the left. So, I might suggest using auto aim, but I think that'll probably confuse you a bit.
Oh, there he was. Hold on.
But your crosshair's up here because the gun barrel is pointing up. You haven't got the gun depression. If you reverse and get the tank level again on the ground, you might...
Let's
This is great because my wife is leaning over to the left to get over to the left a bit. That's it. Now fire at that.
I'm trying.
A little bit higher.
No,
there it is. Fire. Didn't do any penetration. Oh yeah, now shoot this guy here.
I know. I'm trying to go for him still.
No, go for the one on the left. The one on the left. The T-34. Yeah,
T-34.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so going to kill me, aren't they?
Just shoot.
Yeah, but it's not.
It is. Just shoot. When it goes green. Win. We'll see if where you came on the team.
Last?
No way. You definitely want to come last.
Why is that? That's the
well,
first.
Look, you did stuff. You actually hit a tank and knocked out his gun.
Oh.
You detected those 3 tanks, and when you were detecting those tanks,
So
someone else did damage to the tank, and someone else did damage to that tank.
That's ridiculous. So even though I was absolutely naff because I've never played it before.
You came first, second, third, fourth, fifth. You came 6th.
No.
In the whole team.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, 6th place. Not bad, eh? Even with me guiding. That was probably half the problem, was me telling her to do one thing in one ear and she's trying to concentrate on the screen and do what she knows what she's got to do. She's watched me play a couple of times. So please don't be harsh on us in the comments about that bit of footage. It really was just for fun, and maybe I'll give her some more private lessons. So that was it. I think that's what I'm going to do for my video for the 200th. Hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed making it. That's why there's been so little content for the last week. Normally I'm nearly a video a day kind of guy, but I've been spending most of my evenings trying to edit this lot together, and as many YouTubers tell you, it takes freaking forever making a more complicated video, which is why I don't do them, because I don't have the time. If I had the time I would, but I don't, so I don't. that's that. Coming year though, plenty to look forward to, I think. I'm sure they'll keep patching the game, keep making changes. I'm certainly not discounting doing some work on other titles, because certainly I'm not getting bored of World of Tanks, but it's not the only thing out there, is it? There's other stuff. So, never want to not make fun of myself. I'll leave you with this, and hope you either subscribe or like. Thank you. Keep your heads down, drink plenty of water, and that's me drowning. Take care. Bye bye.